Hey, Thomas, how are you today?
Jonathan, I'm doing pretty good. I don't know if Donald Trump's doing good after yesterday's verdict, but we're not going to get into that. All right.
Yeah.
What I do want to talk about is a conversation that you and I had offline about a couple of your clients. Both happen to be in the medical industry, and I think we should share that with our community. So I'm going to throw it at you to kick it off. So go, my friend.
Right, so I've had a couple friends and a couple different clients that have all come to me and asked me for some opinions about what do I see going wrong in their company. They've seen a decrease in revenue, and instantly what they're looking to do right away is just let's like stop everything. Let's just stop all the marketing, or let's just figure out like instantly what can we do right away.
Mhm.
It's you just don't know what to do a lot of times. But I think what I find out a lot is that if a doctor, a dentist, an owner of a retail shop has a business and they're busy 28 days out of the month, and then they have one or two bad days, you
Mhm.
can't freak out and change everything you're doing because of that one or two days that are slower than normal. Because what
Okay.
I'm finding is that a lot of times people want to make quick decisions without doing the correct research. Like they don't want to put the time in to analyze the problem.
Okay.
And I've seen both ends. I've seen people that are, hey, can you look at my company from A to Z? Let me know what you're seeing. Talk to my employees, talk to some past patients or clients, and help me figure out what's wrong. And then I've seen people that are just like, it's got to be something. I don't know what it is. Just get more people in the door.
All right.
So
So were you able to do a little bit of homework and start looking into either one of their businesses, if not both?
yeah, so for one of them, we went through and we talked to their front desk, the people that are talking to clients or patients, and we were asking some very simple questions. And what we found is that we weren't getting the same answer. So in a company, we talked about this last week, you want to have an SOP. You want to
Mhm.
have a way to talk to patients.
Standing, by the way, SOP, standard operating procedure. Go ahead.
Right. So you want to have a process. So if a customer walks in your retail shop or a patient walks in your office, there should be a process. Whether you go in, you write your name on a sheet, you fill out the forms, whatever it may be, there's got to be a process. And then throughout the whole visit in your shop, in your office, you need to provide them with some type of, you know, standard operating procedure. So maybe you take them in the back, you check, do this, do that. So what we're finding is that a lot of people aren't getting that. They're not telling like the people that are working there aren't doing the same thing. So there is no standard operating procedure. We're also finding that things that should be in place may not be in place the right way. So a lot of people jump into buying a CRM or updating and getting the new CRM that's great, and it costs them a lot of money, hundreds
Yeah.
of thousands of dollars, and they don't use it the right way. They don't train their internal staff the right way, and it's just like a big pile of mishmash. No one knows what they're doing.
Yes, as we talked about in one of the last year's videos, CRMs are, for the majority of businesses, a waste of money. If you know how to use Microsoft Excel, and if you don't have someone set up the fields tailored to your business and industry, that's going to be the best CRM for you to get things organized. Go ahead, Jonathan. Sorry.
Well, quickly on the CRM part, if you want to get a CRM, you got to do the homework, right? You have to make sure that whatever you need, it's going to provide you, and then you have to make sure that your staff that you have on your in your company are going to be able to train with that,
Yeah,
because that seems to be, out of hundreds of companies that we talk to every year, a good percentage of them don't know how to use the CRM the right way. They do basic
100%.
data entry not the right
You know
way.
what it is? Business, and nothing against business owners, but they think, they get somebody in there because a lot of business people aren't tech savvy, and that's why IT people have made a fortune off small businesses and mid-sized businesses because they come in with all these credentials, and these people get raped. They get raped, when something could be so simple. They have them buying a $1,500 router when, believe it or not, a $50 router would have been perfectly fine if somebody knows how to set up the security system. But as far as the CRMs go, same thing, same thing. Go ahead, Jonathan.
So bottom line is that when numbers will go down, you have to do some research. So if your company is not bringing in the same revenue this month, look at all the outside factors. Is it a down economy? That may be something you can't control, but is it a seasonal type business, right? So does your business get more revenue in the winter months, summer months, fall,
Gotcha.
spring?
So again, what did you find with these guys when you started looking?
Well, the first thing is that the staff, internal staff, weren't being trained the right way. They weren't
Okay.
the patients and customers weren't happy, and you can easily see that because they had some reviews that were showing that.
Hmm.
Um, another
What's the
part is
next?
that
What's the next thing you saw?
revenue being down may be misconstrued as spending more money than you need, and your profit is actually down. Maybe not your revenue, but your profit is. So what we found is that a few of them were actually spending a lot of money. So money going out, and the money is still coming in. So the money it's not down, it's actually the same. But what we found is that they were spending more money on CRMs and softwares and dressing up the office. And then their
Okay.
profit, it actually was their profit that was down, not necessarily their revenue. But
Gotcha.
even if you are a business that is losing revenue, you have to analyze the situation. So for one of them, their revenue was down, but it was down for the month. And guess what? When we looked at month over month, year after year, certain
Hmm.
months are better than other months, right? So, November, December are usually very tough months for a lot of businesses that aren't retail because everyone is in that retail mode and they're not spending money on other things. They're spending money on, let's say, presents or going out or vacations, maybe. But if you're a business that is seeing that trend, you gotta remember that because every year it's going to happen, and maybe you can try to offset that loss of revenue, but maybe you can't. Maybe it's just slightly seasonal. Um, so, I mean, really, you have to do. We did the research. We found out a few little key parts about spending more money this year than the previous year or the previous month, and in some instances, it's not actually down. It's maybe down for the month, but compared to the last year's month. So let's compare April 24 to April 23. Actually, it was better in April 24, right? They just were expecting more because the previous month was actually a little bit better than April, but
So,
that's
so when you
historically.
when you pointed this out to them, what were their responses?
A lot of the times they appreciate the information, though they don't quite understand, and they think everyone's going to go like this. They're going to constantly go up and up and up, and there's never going to be a down.
Hmm.
That's not, most businesses. You'll see that you're going to be like this. You can go up, down, and it's your job as the business owner to direct your company in the right way, so you can constantly look for more revenue, more profit.
Gotcha.
Um, so yeah, I mean, one of them was thankful, and we were going to help them figure out how to continue on the right road to get more positive results. And the other one was more like almost in denial in a way, and they didn't necessarily want to believe that that was the problem. They thought it was something different that we couldn't attribute. But
And the funny thing is, you're showing this all in black and white with the numbers on paper, and it's still in denial.
you
You
need
know.
to you need to, right. So like I put everything down. So as we're
Mhm.
analyzing, if you have 5 offices, if you have 2 retail shops, I want to look and go down, shop by shop, month by month. What did you spend? What did you get? How many pieces did you sell? What was your profit margin this month compared to last month? Whatever it may be. And the numbers don't lie. So if we show the numbers to you and
Mhm.
it's not anything else, then that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it comes down to. I gotta say, doctors, no offense to them, majority of them, when it comes to business, they're not good business people, and that's through my experience. Um, they need to hire and spend the money on not an office manager, a business manager, general manager in the office, especially if you have multiple locations.
Yeah.
One thing I found, like you have a lot of these, off-site ER urgent care places around the country. They started popping up, believe it or not, in 2008, 9, and 10. Well, actually, 10 and 11 because of the Obamacare. And actually, it was more profitable for doctors to be involved with that than having their own private practice financially. But when you peel back the onion and start looking at all these urgent care, who owns them? It's not doctors. It's either private equity companies or private business people, and they bring the doctors aboard. But guess what? The doctors are making more money than they were in a private practice because you have business-minded people running these things, good business people.
Yes,
And
good.
I know one guy, he had a bunch of places up in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. He sold them to Empire Blue of North Carolina for, I think it was over 100 million plus. And I think he had about 24 it was under 30 locations. And the guy started it, less than 10 years ago. So that's a hell of an exit plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, one of my clients slash friends, he's like a different type of doctor in the sense where he is that unusual one that actually is a business minded person, always looking to scale and do more. And there's not a lot of times that you find people like that in that
Mhm.
field, because you're right. I've noticed it too. But this particular one, he's more business minded than, and he's trying to build the business more than being the doctor in the office, which it's not always the case with a lot of other doctors. So, you have to, if you're a doctor, you don't really know how to run the business, then yeah, maybe you should hire yourself, an operations manager or someone a controller of the
You
company to
need a
help you.
good, strong business person, a general manager. Same
Yes.
thing, believe it or not, goes for law firms too. The majority that I've seen with them. You do have, some lawyers are good business people. However, you need a general manager come in there, and that's the best way for a good law firm to run. But a solid general manager, business-minded, interviewing process, etc. Well, listen, I think we gave a good outline, or at least you did, 'cause you did a lot of the talking today. And that
Yeah.
was, good examples. And hopefully other people out there in our community have picked up on it. Listen, hopefully that's been creative knowledge for you today. Please hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, and subscribe. Thanks very much. Have a great day.